Hi guys, hello! If you don't mind, would you please turn on the notification bell? YouTube isn't showing my videos to you at all, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it, especially now that things are getting more and more interesting. Also, I think that YouTube is secretly unsubscribing you guys, so please pay attention to that. We have now come to GAIAMON, who comes at 450,000. There's also a whole lot to say about this one, but let's start with its appearance first. You are looking at a humanoid God Grade Appmon in white cloth with a golden halo that has a design resembling a compass rose. Knowing how Uranosmon looks like, considering its mythological heritage which it got from Uranos, GAIAMON's appearance did disappoint me a little, which is funny because I have always liked the way it looked before. I'm disappointed because GAIAMON's heritage obviously comes from Gaia, the mother of Uranos with whom she conceived the Titans, who would later birth the Olympus gods. GAIAMON is the personification of Earth, so I'd have loved it if GAIAMON were to be given a design that would set it apart from the other God Grade Appmon, the same way Uranosmon has this appearance that made it distinct. Which reminds me, I did say that I couldn't wait to get to GAIAMON because there was something important I had to discuss, right? Well, when I discuss the God Grade Appmon, I always refer back to a Digimon that represents their counterpart. With the Appmon Poseidomon, I brought the Digimon Neptunemon. With Rebootmon, I brought both Alphamon and Omnimon. Uranosmon doesn't really have a Digimon counterpart, and same goes with GAIAMON, except that it normally should have a Digimon counterpart. For that, I'll have to quickly bring you to the stories of Digimon World 3 and the Digimon Liberator story. That way, on the one hand, you'll better understand how the Appmon GAIAMON is a little bit wasted in appearance, and on the other hand, you'll understand why it is best to take all stories in Digimon as canon and quite related to one another. Let us get into it. So the whole story in Digimon World 3 revolved around a robotic-like digital life form called Lord Megadeath, and its plan was to replace humans to become the ruler of both the digital world and the human world. To do this, it had created an organization called AOA. They are a European cybernetic terrorist group who stole the data of humans and turned them into Oinkmon, a little pig Digimon. Their data were used to empower the Digimon VEMMON, who were programmed only to eat and get stronger. And it is these four created VEMMON that we're going to be focusing on, as it is VEMMON that should have become the Digimon version of GAIAMON, and hence the counterpart of the Appmon GAIAMON. So you see, the multiple VEMMON cannibalized each other, and the one left standing became champion level SNATCHMON, who, after having gained self-consciousness and self-awareness, decided to betray its creator by killing it, absorbing it, along with the Gunslinger satellite, to form Mega-level GALACTICMON, one of the biggest Digimon in existence. GALACTICMON, who already is extremely powerful, had as a final plan to fuse with the Earth to become GAIAMON. However, it was stopped before, so we never got to see the Digimon GAIAMON, unfortunately. Its story, however, despite having occurred in Digimon World 3, was further mentioned in the Digimon Liberator saga. In that story, the main villain is a digital lifeform called Unchained. We really should go through its story someday because it is quite interesting, but long story short, there was a major catastrophe happening in the digital world, and Digimon were even getting deleted. So, in a way of seeking to stabilize a collapsing digital world, it wanted to execute what is known as the Noah project. The primary goal of the project is to purge the current state of Lacuna and the digital world, replacing it with a purified existence according to Unchained's ideals. The replacing involved the forcibly merging of the metaverse of Lacuna and Cross-Connexia. I'll have to be brief here because I know I'm going to get carried away, but Cross-Connexia has had two gods. So there's Delphimon on the one end and there's Metatromon on the other end. We really should get into their stories soon because it's amazing to say the least. But so, the Noah project was a massive world-altering scheme. And for Unchained to attempt to do the fusion, it inspired itself from the story that happened in Digimon World 3. In other words, by utilizing the forbidden GALACTICMON based lore of Digimon World 3, Unchained intended to use VEMMON's line to summon a massive, real RAGNAMON into Lacuna and continue with its plan. Unfortunately, or maybe it's best that I say fortunately, its plan was stopped. But it is GALACTICMON who was going to become Digimon's version of GAIAMON once more, and if it so managed to successfully fuse with the Earth, then there is virtually no way the Appmon GAIAMON would even come near its levels of power. In fact, this version of GAIAMON would probably also belong to the top 3 of most powerful Digimon, and I know that by now I've said that plenty of times. It's just that when I continue digging into Digimon lore, there are so many incredibly powerful beings that many don't even mention. But you know what? I am happy that I have put the Digimon Liberator story in the same timeline as that of the story of Digimon World 3 in that multiverse video. Mind you that when I worked on that project, the Digimon Liberator story was still on the works, and yet the fact that I've been able to put both stories in the same timeline tells me that I was pretty accurate with my research, so I'm very happy of that. With that being said, let us return to GAIAMON. So GAIAMON, as this digital reincarnation of Gaia, was born as the god of creation and has gained wisdom of the world. In fact, the lore dictates that it has absorbed all the accumulated knowledge across the entire net. But why is it the god of creation, I wonder? Where does that come from and what does it mean? Well, GAIAMON is the Appfusion of the ultimate Appmon, GLOBEMON and CHARISMON. GLOBEMON has the ability to grasp and analyze information in 3 dimensions. It has excellent analytical abilities and can sense the actions of its targets with speed close to that of a precognitive one. Mind you, it is the Appmon GLOBEMON who fought against the Digimon WarGreymon. CHARISMON is a mind control Appmon, an Appmon that excels at hypnotizing others. It has the ability to brainwash its targets with skillful speech and manipulate them to its will. You could say that as GAIAMON has learned so extensively from the vast information on the internet and understands the emotional hearts of the people, its power reached beyond building simple inorganic data or digital code. Its profile actually states that it possesses the terrifying and miraculous ability to materialize and create actual living beings, which is crazy. From the knowledge it has gotten from the internet and the hearts of the people, it has the ability to create not only inorganic matter, but occasionally even life itself. The power to create life is a power that does not come often in the whole franchise. I mean, there is obviously the whole debate we once had about how do Digimon reproduce. But this here, on the other hand, is something really different, as this form of creating life brings GAIAMON at the level of beings of the likes of Yggdrasil itself. And it doesn't matter what type of life it is. Life is still life, and that alone could make GAIAMON have countless stories. I hope that by now you are already well aware that the god level Appmon are absolutely something else, and I think I have a fun way to transition to the next god level Appmon. So you see, GAIAMON can create life, right? But what's the point of that life if you don't have the right ecosystem to sustain it and to make that life endure? You'll have to create a space where life can exist. CHARISMON is the god Appmon who governs over matter, and is the next Appmon to discuss.